For me at Shazam, that insight, which now seems so obvious, is we have to have all the music, every song. Little bands, big bands, international bands, we've got to have everything. And there was so much resistance. There was so much resistance. Venture capitalists said, can't you just launch with the hit songs? Then we wouldn't have to give you so much money. Because think about all the money you have to spend to get all that music. But we were obsessed. I'll give you an example. At that time, when a new song got released by the record labels, you know what they would do? It was kind of like when you go to the movie theater and they say, this movie's coming in June. What they would do is they wouldn't put it in the record stores. They would release the song and they would send those CDs only to the DJs in the radio stations in London. So the DJs would get these CDs, and the DJs would play them on the radio, and they had this exclusive first access to play these hot new songs. But of course, as Shazam, we've got to have those songs in our database, right? Because people are going to start Shazamming and go say, what is that brand new song I hear on the radio? And guess what? The record labels are like, oh, that little teeny Shazam that has no users, we're not going to give it to them. We only give it to the DJs. So we were obsessed. So what we did is we got to know this DJ at a big radio station in London. And every Monday when those CDs came in, we would send a motorcycle across central London to this DJ's office. The DJ would get the new CDs that arrived that day, put them into a bag, send them back on the motorcycle across central London, where we would then ingest them into our database, put them back on the motorcycle, send them back across central London to the DJ so we could play them on the radio all week. Obsession, right? Because we had to have those new song releases. Or here's another one for you. Did you know that in Hollywood, there's not just directors and producers and actors and writers, but there's also a role called music supervisor. Music supervisor. And their job, they get hired by a show like Grey's Anatomy, and their job is to go find some obscure song that people don't know but is really great, and then place it into that show on Grey's Anatomy so that you watch the show and you go, ooh, I love that song. And so what did we do? We formed relationships with those music supervisors so we could find out those top secret songs that were going to get placed into those TV shows and movies, and then make sure that we got them into our database so that we had them when people tried to Shazam them. Obsession with having all the music. But as I said, when you have an obsession, you will face resistance. You'll face resistance on this key insight you have. The record labels would not give us the new music. They were our partners, theoretically. The investors were like, do you really need to spend all this money building this huge music database? There was pressure against that for years to come. And even many of the colleagues, my own colleagues in Shazam, didn't believe in the importance of having all this music. But eventually I convinced them all. Obsession. And so what you're doing with an obsession is you're defying that resistance and pressing forward on that non-consensus insight that you have and that you know will make your business successful.